Today is Sunday, January 11th, and welcome to episode 13 of the In the Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Kane White. I tell you what, spring is rapidly approaching. Look, I know we're going to have some winter weather coming up. We're going to have some ice in Northeast Arkansas. We're going to have snow. That's coming. We know that's coming in late January, early February, most likely. But spring is rapidly approaching. And there's only one place that you should call to make sure that your lawn is in elite shape for the springtime, and that's Jones Lawn Care LLC out of Truman, Arkansas. My good buddy Blake Jones, Truman High School graduate, one of the great Truman Wildcats. He's a Swiss Army knife, man, when it comes to lawn care, weed control, fertilization, simple lawn care, outdoor lighting. He can do it all, man. He can do it all when it comes to lawn care. You can find all of his information on Facebook, Jones Lawn Care LLC on Facebook. Give him a shout if you want your lawn to be looking elite in the springtime. Blake hit me with this sweet hat, man, a sweet leather patch hat with the Arkansas Razorback there on the side. Woo pig. So I appreciate you, Blake, man. Thanks for the hat. Thanks for all you do for lawns all over Northeast Arkansas. So hit Blake up to get your lawn in tip-top shape for the springtime. I call Blake a Swiss Army knife when it comes to lawn care, but let me tell you what, he was also a Swiss Army knife on the football field. He was kind of ahead of his time, I'll be honest with you. Late 2000s, a dual threat quarterback, 4.5 40 time, cannon arm, accurate on short throws. He was so much fun to watch when the game of football started to evolve into more of a shotgun spread attack. Blake was my dad's first quarterback when my dad was the head football coach at Truman. He was the head football coach there from 2008 to 2013. And so Blake was his first quarterback, man. And my dad tailored his offense kind of around Blake and his weapons. Truman, for the longest, I believe Truman football started in 1929. And up until 2008, Truman was under center, smash mouth, run heavy offense out of the wishbone or the I formation or the flex bone or some version of that. It never changed. That's kind of what Truman was about. And when my dad got the head coaching job, he changed a lot. And it was like seeing a penguin in the desert or something, seeing the Truman Wildcats in the shotgun, man. It was a lot different. But my dad tailored his offense to his players, and with Blake's dual threat ability and his running mates, Zach, Show Thompson, Tommy Harris, Colton Turner, big O-line, Sebastian Cifuentes, Tony Harris, those guys, super talented team. So my dad researched Rich Rodriguez when he was at West Virginia and Michigan. At West Virginia, Rich Rodriguez had Pat White, a crazy dual threat quarterback. And so Rich Rod, he ran a two-back option offense out of the shotgun. And so my dad kind of copy and pasted that, studied a lot of it, and installed it for Blake and his teammates. And man, wow, was it, it was almost like reinventing the wheel. It was something different that nobody had seen in Truman before. And, high flying offense. It was so much fun to watch Blake throw it around and run the option out of the shotgun. Man, I guarantee he probably had over 1,000 yards rushing and over 1,000 passing. His junior or senior year, man, he was a stud. And so I would love to see Blake in a modern RPO offense where you've got all the gadgets and tricks off of it. Man, he probably would have smashed records all across Arkansas just because of how talented he was. Just a good teammate. So good to be around. He was so good to me and my little brother when we were water boys and stuff like that. So shout out to Blake Jones, man. He was a special athlete. And so my dad was really blessed to have some stud quarterbacks in his tenure as the head football coach at Truman. And so after Blake graduated, his next quarterback was Jimmy Creasy, and he was a little bit different. Jimmy, no disrespect, I love you to death, big guy. He didn't quite have the arm talent that Blake had, but man, was Jimmy tough. Could he take hits? Could he run the football? And so Dad goes from a spread offense to the flex bone. He studied Georgia Tech, Paul Johnson, and the academies, Army and Navy, and installed the flex bone triple option for Jimmy. And wow, did that have some success too. man, he had some really good running backs back there with him. Dustin Miller, Curvin Dunhu, Quentin Buchanan, and Jimmy's junior year, that 2011 season, was really, really special. Truman made the playoffs, got the last playoff seed out of their conference, which was a loaded conference with Valley View, Osceola, Gosnell. Beat Osceola with Corliss Marshall, who went on to play for the University of Arkansas, 35-0 at home after Osceola was probably a 28-point favorite. Beat them 35-0 right there at home. And then in the playoffs, you go up to number 3, Gravett, who had only lost to number 1, Shiloh Christian, and beat them 18-3 on the road. And if that's as far northwest as you can go in Arkansas, is Gravett. It's 2 miles from Oklahoma, probably 5 from Missouri, way up there in the northwest corner. It was sleeting in that game. It was freezing cold. And Jimmy Creasy actually threw a 75-yard touchdown to Dustin Miller to open the second half and kind of blew the game open, man. It was a really special win for my father. It was special to be there for that one. And so, man, that was a really cool season. Ended up losing to Star City by a touchdown on the road the next week. And that was a talented Star City team. I believe we went down 28-0, clawed back, and man, almost got it done, but didn't quite make it happen. So, starting this episode with just a little bit of Truman football history. I'm, really proud of my town, and I could sit here and talk about Truman football for hours and hours and hours. My dad coached some really awesome guys, and it's really cool to get to keep up with those guys as they have grown into fathers and husbands. And so I think pretty soon you might have a strictly Truman football podcast episode. Maybe you might have the old gridiron ghost, Greg White himself, on here pretty soon. Talk some Truman football with my dad. But regardless, shout out to Blake Jones Lawn Care, Jones Lawn Care LLC. The college football playoff national championship is set. And I tell you what, I am extremely excited to watch Indiana and Miami go at it right there in Miami. Miami has a home game for the national championship. That's insane. Miami pulled out a very, very close victory over Ole Miss. I'm not gonna lie, I was pulling for Ole Miss. I was pulling for Trinidad Chambliss. What a great story that was, and to go from D2 to starting in the SEC, man. Hats off to Trinidad Chambliss. Hats off to Pete Golding for having a fantastic playoff run. What a great game to watch. Ole Miss has got some things figured out. It was cool to see 3 of the guys that I coached at the University of Arkansas that transferred to Ole Miss, and Patrick Kudus, Jalen Braxton, and Luke Haas play in the playoffs. Man, I was really hoping they had pulled that one off. But regardless, what a great football game to watch. Hats off to Coach Cristobal down there in Miami, doing some really, really good things. Carson Beck took the game over there late, man, and did a good job. And so excited to see what they've got for Indiana. I don't really have a dog in that fight. I just hope it's a great national championship. I think there's going to be a lot of people tuned into that one because it's 2 teams that haven't been at the top in a while. Miami won it in 2001 or something like that, or was there in 2001. Indiana has never been there. Indiana has not won a bowl game since 1991 in the Copper Bowl, which doesn't even exist anymore. And then they go and win the Rose Bowl. And then they go and win the semifinal game. They just rolled Oregon. I mean, is that maybe the greatest turnaround in sports history, what Coach Cignetti's done there? I mean, they haven't won a bowl game since 91. They've won 26 games in the past 2 years and had only won 28 games in a stretch from 2018 to 2023. I mean, that's incredible what Coach Cignetti has done there. In the 2010s, Coach Saban at Alabama, Coach Swinney at Clemson, and Coach Smart at Georgia, they had that secret sauce for success in the 2010s. With the portal and NIL, with all that new stuff that's going on and the change in college football, I don't think anybody's really figured out that secret sauce for success yet. But I think Coach Cignetti is probably the closest. And I tell you what he's done with that Indiana program is nothing short of amazing. Wow, it's just super cool to take in and see the strides that the Indiana Hoosiers have made in the football realm. So excited for the national championship. We had Mitchell Weber on in episode 12. We went to the basketball side of things. And episode 13, we're going to swing back to the football side of things with one of the most passionate young coaches in Northeast Arkansas. He's faced a ton of adversity throughout his coaching career. He's overcome it. And I tell you what, he pours into his players like none other. He coaches beyond the game. He talks about it all the time, coaching beyond the game and making connections with those athletes and getting the most out of them. He's a former Arkansas State Red Wolf football player, 4-year letter winner there. He is from Cherry Valley, Arkansas, Cherry Valley native. He is the defensive coordinator of the 2A state champion Cross County Thunderbirds. Time to get in the huddle with Mr. Katon Hill. Welcome to episode 13 of the In the Huddle podcast. The champ is here. Cross County High School defensive coordinator Katon Hill. How's it going, my man?
Man, it's going, man. It's like all the coaches say, man, living the dream, man. It's
We are.
we are, man. It's going well. Just trying to enjoy the break,
Yeah.
being around family and all that. So, now we got to go back to work tomorrow. So that turn back to regular programming, as they say.
That's right. That's right. Man, that Sunday before we go back to school is always like, man, Sunday scaries. But it was a good
It
break for me, and I hope it was for you too.
Man, it's just like I just been spending time with family and just probably staying up way too much because I've been probably staying up way too much and now my body just like, hey, it's time to get back in it, time to get back in it. So, but
That's right.
once about a week gets in, it's all good.
That's right. Yeah, I probably my sleeping schedule's a little off too, so we'll have to get back right. So, man, I gotta know. I mean, we're not even a month removed. Are you still riding the high from winning a state championship?
Man, so I feel like every time somebody that has kind of came up to me just like, how's it feel? How's it feels, man? It's just like it hits you, and then it's just like, all right, now it's time to go back to work. Now it's like
Yeah,
you didn't kind of you done experienced it, but now it's just like when you're coming back on, because all the kids will come back on Tuesday, but when it come back on Tuesday, it's time to go back to work. New season
that's
starts.
right.
So,
Absolutely.
but as far as how I feel about it, I mean, it's a great feeling, man. It's still you still kind of having a dang, like it's a surreal moment because I hear from a lot of coaches like some people don't get that feeling at all. You know, you go
Right.
some coaches go 30, 40 years and don't even get that feeling. So, it's just a testament to how hard the boys played and just how they bought into what we believed. And man, it's like it was a great feeling, but we always continue to say still not satisfied. Now it's just gonna like turn the page. It's just like, all right, let's go back to work. Let's go try to do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to get to talk about this for the rest of your life, but okay.
Yep.
But we got to be where our feet are and try to replicate
Right.
it. Like let's keep
Right.
this thing rolling. And so I
Right.
love that mindset, man. And I could tell, man, through the season, I kept up with you guys down there at Cross County. You just kind of slowly climbed the ladder. You just kept getting better and better and better. I'm like, man, they're peaking at the right time. I think something special could happen.
Right. Right. I would say honestly, and we battled injuries early on through week 0, week 2, um, and we finally got healthy going into the conference season, which was really good. So I mean, you get
Right.
healthy going to the conference season, you're pretty much straight. And I think that telltale game for us was honestly the first time that we played Desert. I honestly think
Okay.
like when we played Desert that first time at home and we got it done, I was just like, yeah, boys, it's we starting to roll. And then once we started putting more points up on the board, and I think it was me and Coach Clark. I said, yeah, we rolling at the right time. I said we starting to get
Yes.
hot. I said it's gonna get real scary once November comes. And man, and one thing about it being around Coach Pascal, last year when we went down to Junction City, um, you know, I think from the boys' perspective, I don't think yes, they knew, they kind of believed that we could win, but it wasn't just like, oh yeah, we going down there to handle business. They were
Right.
so focused on, man, it's a 4 hour drive, this, that, and the other. But on the flip side of that,
Right.
like, and we knew we had a chance to beat Junction City last year. So
Right.
after that game last year, Coach Pascal told them, like, hey, remember this feeling because you're gonna see these guys again. You're gonna see that name come across that playoff bracket again. So, and I think it was after we beat Desert, we preached to those boys. We said, look, we're gonna go and tell you, round two, you're gonna see Junction. We were already
That's
like
right.
they had it in their mind. We say round two, we're gonna travel to Junction. So get your mind ready right now that you're gonna see them. So there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it that week. And I honestly think that was the game too that just told everybody like, like they were for real because all we heard was, and hats off to Junction City, man. Like that's a great program and much respect for Coach Ball and his staff down there. And
Powerhouse,
up
man. They've been good for
powerhouse,
years.
man. And I mean, and it's tough to win down there. I mean, for one, like you go down there, that's a long ride. And,
Hey,
and
you're in Louisiana. You're pretty
yeah,
much in Louisiana.
throw a rock at you right there. And man, and we came out and I just kind of glanced back and I said, and I seen them with a 2A squad and they got 50 kids and I said, hey, it don't matter. Like but I knew all week the way the boys prepared their minds and how we were on the ride there throughout the walkthrough. And I could always tell how the week was gonna go by how Tuesday practice went because I always kind of
Right.
had a thing defensively. I always said tough guy Tuesday. I always made Tuesday
Okay.
defense from the defensive perspective, like that toughest day to just like I'm on them, and it's kind of a mind trick. Some of my seniors caught on to it, but it was just like, hey, I'm hammering them about the little things. Are we getting the calls right? Are
Right.
we in the right position? And that Tuesday, I didn't do any yelling. I was just like, I told Coach Pascal and Coach Clark, I said it's gonna happen, dog. I said I'm not yelling on a Tuesday, and I said it a few times this season. I said if I'm not yelling on Tuesday, I said
Locked in.
I know what's gonna happen. I know
Right.
what's gonna
That's
happen.
awesome. I love that. And man, you talk about Coach Pascal, Coach Clark, Coach Hag. What a
Yep,
2A staff, man. You got three guys that play Division One football. You got Coach Pascal, who's gonna be a Hall of Famer. What a staff you guys have, man.
man. I mean, all of our coaching experience, me with Coach Hag and Coach Clark, I don't even think it's half of what Coach Pascal got. Because I mean, he's been in the game
Yeah.
41 years, and I've been in 7. Hag has been in 4. Coach Clark this be 2, so that ain't even 20. So I mean, so I mean, and I mean, the thing is to be around, a coach like him, man. And I know for him sometimes just like, dog, I'm running these young cats. So a lot of times we get to see his younger side. Like he'll be
That's
dancing and
fun.
whatnot in practice, man. And I tell a lot of people all the time, like, because a lot of people like ask me like, how is it, being with Coach Pascal? I say, man, I love it just because you get you get to learn the game from a guy like you said, a future Hall of Famer. So you get to
Easy.
learn the skin of the game, and then and and like I said, he's very descriptive about what he wants, and he's
Right.
very good about finding places where to put kids, and he's a very like he loves defense. Like I'll tell you this right now, during the summer, I think during spring ball and the summer, I think we worked on defense every single day. And during the summer, we had
Got
2 hour
to.
practices, probably an hour and a half we spent defense. And I said, and a lot of times I'd be just like, Coach, y'all say you ready for offense? No, Coach, let's work defense. Like
Keep it rolling.
he said keep it rolling. He said, Coach. He said defense gonna win championships, and then he was grinning
That's
after
right.
the state championship game. He said, "Coach, you remember all them days you asked me to work offense first, and I told you to work defense?" He said, "This pays off right
That's
here."
why. And it did, man. It did. I mean, you only gave up 11 points per game in the playoffs. That's insane, man. And so you've got to be sound on defense to win in November and December. And so,
Man,
you talk about those long summer practices, long spring practices on defense, but I know you're a motivator. How'd you motivate those guys to play so hard and only give up 11 points per game in the playoffs?
man, my thing is I knew what we had coming back. So
Right,
from a defensive perspective, I preached to them. I said we've made the statement of leading a conference in points allowed. I said we've done that for the last 2 seasons. I said there's no doubt in my mind we're going to lead again. And I said and we've been in the top 10, top 5 of points allowed in 2A. I said I want to show everybody who has the best defense in the state. I said that's not going to happen by accident. I said that's going to
right,
happen by we're playing fast, we're playing discipline, and we're playing physical. I said and several times that we did defense pursuit drill. We did those things like that, and a lot of times the boys hated it. But I told them I said a lot of this stuff. I said y'all are gonna hate. I said y'all are gonna hate it, and I told them I said we're gonna do situational things. I said that way. I said because my thing is I said I don't want y'all to be in a position where y'all are not ready for it. And I
right.
think the only time that me personally, that I had a moment where I let them down was the first time we played EPC. And when they had that 2 minute drill and they went down the field and scored, I told them, I said, look, I said, that's the last time that will happen. I said,
Right.
because I said, for one, I said, we hadn't been in that position. And I said, but that's my fault. I said, that's my fault for not putting you in there. I said, that's my fault for not putting your position in practice. So from that Monday on, we did it twice, probably twice a week. And I named it after EPC's mascot. I named the Warrior Drill. And I will put, we
I
probably
love
put
that.
2 minutes on the clock, well, 150 on the clock, and we probably would have the scout, old Coach Hag would be my quarterback, and we just had them do a route concepts and like, hey, we got to pick, Blue, let's go try to pick it and score. We got, or we're,
Right,
I would say we're either up at half, or we're down, or we're not no down. They're up, or we're up, or whatever. We're trying to get a score, or they're trying to get a
right.
score, whatever. Well, I gave them different situations, and I would put 155 on the clock, 120. That way, when it happened again, we were prepared. And actually, I'll probably never forget this moment because it kind of showed me like all the stuff that I put them through. It paid off. Right before halftime, EPC had the ball, and I think
Yes.
they
In
had,
the
and
state
they had,
championship, correct?
yep, they had one.
Yeah,
They
I
had
remember watching that.
one.
Yep.
They had 120 left, and all the boys are screaming, "Hey, Warrior Drill, Warrior Drill!"
Yeah,
And
I
you see
love
all the
that.
EPC, and you see all the EPC's players looking at them like, "Wow, they saying what?" And so all our boys, they're getting lined up on the ball, ready. So I'm just like, now they see it, and so
Absolutely.
that was a moment where it's just like they got it. Like all the times
Right,
that I did all the yelling and screaming, I'm just like, now you see. I said that was, and I told them at halftime, I said that was perfect execution of a 2 minute drill defensively. I said you kept them in bounds.
right,
I said, hey, any ball that went up, we knocked it down. Let's not try to pick it. Like they didn't score. So I said,
right.
hey, that's perfect.
Man, that's awesome. And I know that's so rewarding when you do something like that that's situational and the kids might not quite understand, like, man, this isn't gonna happen in a game. And then it comes up and it works, man. That's awesome.
Right.
I love that. I love that. So, man, I've actually watched you closely your entire career, and we actually started our coaching careers around the same time. Man, your energy and your passion for coaching beyond the game and pouring into the kids you coach, man, I admire it. I admire it so much,
Appreciate it.
and I've learned a lot from you just watching you from afar. And even when we coached against each other, that one scrimmage,
Yep.
just seeing your energy and your passion, man, I feed off that as an opposing coach or as a more of a peer now since we don't coach against each other. But
Right.
where does that fire come from, man? Where does that energy and that passion to coach beyond the game? Where does that come from?
Man, I honestly just because I would say from it's just that player inside of me, that just the love and passion for the game. Like, because to be honest with you, like I never thought that I would honestly, you know, teach or even coach. But they say God always, reveals your purposes to you.
That's
And
right.
I honestly think, one of the coaches, you remember Coach Trooper Taylor. I think I was doing
Yes, sir.
uh I think I was doing tutor coordinator for athletics at Arkansas State, and Coach Troop, he seen me come out the complex one day. And he said, Cahill, he said, why you over there behind the desk? And I said, sir. He said, you're supposed to be in between the lines. I said, Coach, I don't know if that's for me. He said, watch what I tell you. I honestly felt like I was running from that for the longest. And then, you know, Coach Will Banks at Valley View, he was my position coach at Jonesboro. And he was one of the people who was just like, man, I think you would be a really good coach, Katon. He said if you ever decide to get into it, I think you'll be a good one. Then Dr. Skelton,
Right.
he's at Marion right now, assistant superintendent. He was another one. Like I just kept having, people that kept trying to, or just kept putting it in my ear, and I'm just like,
Right.
and then once I got into it, it's like yeah, I'm not playing the game anymore, but I'm teaching the game as as I would want to be taught, but also everybody learns different.
Yes.
Everybody
That's right.
learns different, and that's something that over the last few seasons, over the last 7 seasons, that I've learned. A lot of kids can't take the yelling sometimes. Sometimes you just
That's
gotta
right.
put your arm around and be like, hey man, this is where you screwed up at.
You get
And a lot
it.
of kids, a lot of kids respond to me like, hey, like come here, let's talk about it. Some kids you got to get on the board, and thing too is having coaches like Coach Troop, Coach Johnson, um, Coach McKenzie, Coach Took, all those guys, man,
Man, I love Mackenzie and Tuck, man.
man, man, having those guys, being around them, um, kind of made me not only just a better player, but also a better coach now, because I kind of had that same philosophy. Like I know Coach McKenzie told us, as running backs, we're like, hey, you're a reflection of me. And I tell my linebackers and running backs that I told them that on that, I was like, look, now when you fumble, you miss a tackle, I said, y'all are a reflection of me. How you
Right.
act in the classroom, I said, you're not just on a reflection of me,
Yes.
you're a reflection of the football team. And so,
Correct.
and then too, having my dad coach me, he instilled the love of the game, into me for, when I was, I would say second and third grade. I watched him coach. And
Right.
he was my coach all the way from third through, sixth grade, all through Pee Wee. And he made me learn the game. He made me love the game, honestly. And so,
Right.
and thing is, and now that he's gone or whatever, I've kind of made that vow to myself, like, as long as I'm being around football, I'll never disrespect the game, because it was
Right.
given to me by somebody that 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 loved me enough to say, hey, this is the game. You love it. And thing is,
Right.
when you love something so passionately, like, and it's never work. And that's why I know when people say, man, I'm going to
Absolutely.
work. I'm not going to work because I love doing it. So, and
That's
I
right.
mean, because people ask me all the time, like, you drive to Cherry Valley from Jonesboro every day. I'm like, I'm from Cherry Valley, so it's not, it's not like it's a bad drive. And then two, I love it. I love
That's right.
being from there, and it's home. So
That's right.
it hits different when you're at home and it's doing and you're doing something.
That's right. Yeah, I love that. And so I've got like 4 points to make off of what you just said. And the first one is you are honoring your father the right way. And man, you're a blessing to so many people, and you're honoring him the right way with the way you do things. And so I know he's happy. I know
Oh
he's
yeah,
happy for you. Um, Two, you talked about how you coach how you would want to be coached, and when I self reflect, I'm like, okay, would I like to play for me? Me as a 16-year-old, would I enjoy seeing me every day? Because I mean, some of these kids, it's all they have. And you kind of talked about some kids you can coach them hard. Some kids you got to love on them because you don't know what they're going through outside the
right,
lines. And so I think that's a great point you made. And me and you are one and the same in this. We want to coach kids how we would want to be coached. And I think that helps
right,
us out. Um,
right, definitely.
and and then the last point I've got to make, you talked about Coach McKenzie and Coach Tucker. Many people probably don't know this. At Arkansas State for 1 year, I was an equipment manager for the football team, and you were a running
Big
back,
day.
and I was with the
Yeah,
running backs.
come on,
And so we go way back, man. And man, you, Silk, Johnston White, Warren Wan, man,
Jamal.
Flash Gordon. Yes, man. Jamal Jones. I saw him a couple years back, and man, it made me happy to see him. You guys were all so good to me because knowing that I was at the bottom of the totem pole and didn't know what was going on, you guys treated me the right way, and I've always appreciated that.
No problem, man. And that's something that not only just that's just something that I've always been taught, but then also too, Coach McKenzie always told us like, hey, hey, Kane's one of us. He told us that in the meeting rooms oftentimes, like, hey, Kane's one of us. So if hey, make sure y'all treat him with the utmost respect. Like he's one of us still. He's somebody that he's with the running back, so he's one of us. So
That's right.
and
And
then
man, Coach McKenzie, he was good to me, man. He was.
oh yeah, now he living it up right now, man, at Virginia Tech.
Man, I'm so proud of him, man. That's so awesome.
Man, man,
Yes,
then
sir.
too, and um, and then too, I mean, another coach that really um that I wouldn't dare to fail not to mention is Coach Coleman, man, Coach Randy Coleman.
Oh,
Even
yes.
now, I can still send him a text. Uh, I mean, he texts me right after the state championship game, like, "Hey man, congratulations, love you, man." Like, anytime I see him,
It's
he gonna
awesome.
always say, "Hey, Katon, I love you." So that coach and player relationship has even become, more. It's become a real deal bond even after. I haven't played a down high school football since 2012. So
Right.
that's another coach that I would never fail to not to mention is Coach Randy Coleman.
Yes, sir. And that's so great that you've got this widespread tree of people that have helped mold you. And I've got the same. And man, I mean, there's just a list of names, and I'm sure you can go
Facts.
on and on and on. And so, man, you you can never know enough, and it's so cool to learn from the ones that coached you and the ones you coach alongside. And so, man, it's cool to hear that you've got that widespread tree. And so I got to make one more point about the equipment manager thing. You guys treated me so good, and I felt so appreciated. The time that I spent coaching at the college level, I made sure the equipment managers with the special teams were treated like my own, man. Like I made
Yeah.
sure nobody ever crossed them because they're students. They're working for
Right.
free. I've
Right.
been there, and they're here on their own. And
On
man,
their own
so
time.
you guys, yes, sir. So you guys helped me way down the road, whether you knew it or not. So I appreciate that, man.
No problem. No problem at all, man. We
So we've
appreciated
kind of,
you.
yes, sir, yes, sir. So we've kind of talked about, you spent time at Arkansas State, you played there. Were you there 4 or 5 years?
For my first,
4.
I redshirted at Harding my freshman year, or fall
That's
of my
right.
freshman year.
That's right. I remember that. That's right. What was your favorite moment as an Arkansas State Red Wolf? Whether it was a bowl win or just a locker room moment or a big time win or a play that you made. What's your favorite moment as a college football player?
Man, I would probably say the 2016 Cure Bowl, man. Uh,
Okay.
because I would say honestly, because that whole week, all we heard about was UCF, how dominant they were, stuff like that.
Right.
And we went through all the bowl stuff, and and I think they didn't even show up or something like that. I think they sent their scout team guys or something like that while we were there, with our whole team. And then, like I said, all that week we just kind of like, dog, like they really trying to disrespect us that week. And so,
Right.
um, and I mean, man, that and just for just a big time win that we had, and then you kind of go back to that next season when UCF goes undefeated, and they said who was the last team to beat
Right.
them. It was A State, and then I'll probably say
The
the
Wolves,
next,
baby.
yeah, and then I'll probably say the next one probably was when we beat ULL my senior year, because everybody know we hated Lafayette. We did not
That's
like the
right.
Raging Cajun, and I think we beat them 47-3 my senior year at home. And oh man, I think we had a time in that locker room after that, because and you know how it was. Anytime after a big win, the speakers are blasting, and everything like that. So, I tell people, people have asked me, hey, what do you miss most about college football? I said I don't miss practicing at all. I said I don't miss practicing the least. I said the biggest thing you miss is the brotherhood and stuff like that in the locker room. I said those are
Right.
the times you miss, and those are the times that that you made the most of. Not so much of the 5 o'clock in the morning when it's 4 degrees and everybody around you it has ice on their face,
Them
but
rodeos.
uh, don't even remind me. But but those times in the locker room after either a win or a loss, you're with the guys. And honestly, I still talk to a lot of my teammates now, from throughout the years, man, and it's good to see a lot of them, doing well. So, and that's the
Right.
biggest thing when you're done playing, man, and you still can reach out to those guys and just check on them. A lot of them, have families, married and stuff like that. So, I think that's one of the positive things about social media too. You get to see like your teammates that getting married, have kids. Just like, dang, man, like 10 years ago, we was all just talking about, man, I would never had no kids. I wouldn't. So now it's just like it's all
Right.
coming to all full circle now.
That's right. And man, those locker room celebrations were great. The year that I was there with y'all, I think we beat Texas State at home to clinch the conference championship.
Yep,
If that's right, maybe. And then we
that would
got
have
the
been
bid to the New Orleans
2015.
Bowl right after. Yep, 2015.
2015.
And man, that locker room celebration was great. I think there's a picture of me and you and Warren
Oh
out there
yeah.
somewhere. And so that was a special time. So I got a question about your time playing and now your time coaching. I kind of still get that butterfly gut feeling walking out there on Friday nights. I still get that Friday night feeling. Do you get that as a coach too?
Man, yeah, just because, and like I said, it's just a former player in me. It's the former player in me, and just the love and passion for the game, man. It's those and I tell people all the time, there's nothing like Friday Night Lights, whether you're
Yes, sir.
playing it or coaching it. There's nothing like
That's
it.
right.
Uh, and I know a lot of times before games, I still do kind of my same pregame ritual I did when I was in high school and college. I go to myself,
I love that.
put my headphones on, walk the field, stuff like that. So it's kind of that same routine, but it's more so as a coach now. So, um, and and thing is now it's just it's like I try a lot of times when the national anthem stuff going on, we're usually in the locker room or whatever. But anytime I just hear the
Right.
national anthem or something like that, I'll still get the chills up on my
Chill
arms.
bumps.
You start getting it, and then when you first walk out with the team, and you're getting your head set, and you take that last little moment to yourself before everything kicks off. It's just like, all right, here we go. So yeah, I'm not strapping it up no more, but it's just like when I put that
Right.
headset on, it's almost equivalent to me strapping a helmet on now.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
because
100%. hundred
Because it's just
percent.
like as soon as I do this, it's just like, all right, game time.
Right. My pregame routine as a coach has changed quite a bit throughout my career. As a head coach, I had to take about 20 minutes to go find a place to puke because I made myself so nervous. Puke before every game. Every single one. Made myself so nervous, couldn't, I mean, just would shake. But now as an assistant man, I mean, I'm more relaxed. I've been the big guy, and so now I can just focus on the task at hand and getting the kids ready and everything. And so pregame routines changed quite a bit in my
Yeah,
career. But so you talked about putting the headphones on in the locker room before the game. What's your playlist as a coach?
man, it's some of everything, man. Well, I'm gonna put it like this: throughout the day, if I'm after we, pregame meal or whatever, it's kind of the slow jams, man. I put a little country
Okay.
on, put a little R&B, but the closer it gets to kickoff, it changes the more. I gotta go ahead and get up a little bit now,
Yeah.
and I probably shouldn't have done it a lot, but I would put a Celsius and a Red Bull together, and yeah, I'm by 5:30, I'm Jackson, so and I would, I always had a routine of just going out to myself a lot of times, maybe the home away, and then I would come in and then get into my pregame stuff, and I stayed and I was very superstitious, and that's just, and Coach Pascal
Right.
is too. And I'm pretty sure you are too, but and I don't know why I am. I mean, I don't know what, like when you have that one thing you feel like that works for you, you start doing it. And so at every game I wore, all black. I had my black cutoff hoodie, and I even did it for the state
Right.
championship. Because,
I love it.
people probably thought I was probably that crazy because I went out there and it's 30 degrees, and I'm out there in a cutoff hoodie, shorts, and I'm just like, nothing wrong. And
Hey,
and I had people
keep
saying,
that
"Are
up
you
because
okay?"
keep that up, man. Because like I said, I'll follow you, man. It could be 110 degrees pregame, cut off hoodie, hood up, shorts. State championship game, same thing. Like that's a
Oh
staple. You got
yeah,
to keep that going.
I couldn't do it, and because I even told Coach Clark that the same week, I was just like, I said, I don't care how cold it is. I said, I'm going out. I said with my cutoff on. He was like, oh yeah. He said, I'm having the same. He said, I'm having my. He said, I'm saying having my same pregame stuff on, and that's just and like even Coach Pascal, like he was always superstitious about things, like about certain things that he would wear or whatever, stuff like that. And like I said, look, I ain't wear long sleeves no, any Friday night. I said, I'm not, any Friday game day. I said, I'm not wearing none out.
That's right. That's right. And it's almost like you embrace the elements too. And I've talked
Oh
about
yeah.
this story a few times on the podcast, but when I was in Arkansas, we played up in Missouri in the snow and it was 22 degrees or something. And I was like, shoot, man, I'm from Northeast Arkansas. I'm tough. I'm just going to coach at short sleeves. I didn't have the cutoff, but I had the short sleeve cage jacket. I was like, let's just embrace the elements, man.
Gotta love it.
So, yes, sir. So, man, we've got a big ball game coming up here in about, I think, 30 minutes. I grew up a Steelers fan. You're a huge Steelers fan. I
Yes,
got to
sir.
know this. Who is your favorite Steeler of all time?
Of all time. Oh, mm, dude, now you put me on the spot. I, I can't go without saying Big Ben, man.
That's fair,
That
man.
I can't go without saying Big Ben or Hines Ward, either one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Two legends, no doubt legends. But I'm going to have to go with the opposite of your chain there. Oh, 4-3, Troy Polamalu, man. The way he played so hard.
Oh yeah, him and James Harrison, Debo.
Ooh, the huge pick six in the Super Bowl. I'll never forget it.
Y'all, yeah, against
100 something
Arizona.
yards. Yes, sir. That was
Yeah,
huge.
I still remember as a kid watching that one. I was just like, yeah, that's a lot of dude to be trying to bring down for 100
That's
yards,
right.
and then and I never like this. Even though Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler now, I'll never forget him for taking that one away from us though.
Sure
That
did.
yeah, in 2011.
Yep, that's right. Well, maybe, just maybe, if we get this one tonight, maybe he can get us one back. Who knows?
Yeah, and because I think I was talking to, got who I was talking. I may have been talking to one of my cousins not too long ago, and I was like, man, I said this year is the NFL season. I said it's wide open. I said
It
because
is.
like I said, yeah, you got some teams that are playing consistent. I said, but nobody's really just like dominating.
Right,
No, nobody. I would say the Patriots have been consistent this season. I said, but to me, they haven't really played anybody
right,
that's like they haven't played they haven't played anybody yet to me.
right, right. There's nobody that really just jumps off the page like, hey, they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same way at the college level right now. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
thought it was wide open. And I swear, the four teams that are left, I think any four of them can win it.
Oh yeah. By far. And thing is, all four of those teams with the head coaches have a common denominator: Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
and, and,
Yeah,
and, and,
that's
and
right.
that's and that's what I tell people. I said, look, I said Nick Saban may not be coaching anymore. I said, but his pedigree's still there. I said
That's right.
his pedigree's still in the game because I mean I looked at the teams that lost and the teams that won. I'm just like, look who's still in.
That's right. That's right. He's done things that I don't even know how they're possible. I mean, how he's just trained all these coaches and sent them off, and man, he did a heck of a job. I mean,
Yeah,
that a heck of a job is not the right word, but
right.
he's the goat for sure.
Yeah, because I even think when people were picking Alabama to beat Indiana, and I think Nick was just like, all right, you don't know who over there in Indiana.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Signetti, man, he's something. He's different. He's done a great job, man. If you had looked at me 5 years ago and said Indiana's the best team in the country, I'm like, okay, in basketball, right? No,
Yeah,
football.
it's like
What?
that's like saying Rutgers.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I think, man, it's made the NFL season fun, the college season fun. Just man, there's so much parity, and I'm excited to see how the both playoffs play out. So
Definitely, man. It's gonna be an
yes, sir.
exciting one.
I completely agree, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. I can't tell you how much I admire you as a coach, you as a man, you as a
Appreciate you,
Christian, you as a family member. You do things the right way, and man, I'm really excited to continue our friendship that's gone way back. And man, we'll have to meet up soon and have some dinner together or something.
yes, sir. Hey, you gonna be at the Running Ropes?
Man, we don't go to the Ronnie Roach. We actually go to St. Louis for a coaching clinic. So
Talking about the
we
Glacier?
the Glacier, yeah, we go up there for
Yep.
that one at the end of February. But we'll have to meet up soon, man. You know, I'm so proud of you, not only for your state championship ring. Did you get sized up yet, by the way?
I did. Be right for the break.
Oh, let's go, man. I love it. I love it. Man, not only am I proud of your state championship, I'm proud of how much you pour into the young men that you
Appreciate
coach.
you,
Man, just keep doing that the right way, man. And man, you're gonna make a lot of people better humans as you go throughout your career.
man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you having me on, man. Like I told you the other day in the text message, man. Appreciate you as a person, but not only as a colleague, but then as a man, because you done things the right way from like you said from even when you was at A State, your passion just being an equipment manager, you carry that same passion as doing things 100 miles an hour with full passion. It's carried over to what you're doing now, man, and you haven't changed as far as like a person, as far as like, hey, you know, I feel like if somebody told you, hey, Kane, we're gonna hire you to be, you're gonna hire you to be the mopping the floor, man, you gonna do it 10,000 times, like you're like, all right,
Hey,
and
where's the bucket at?
where's the bucket at? Let's go. And that's something that I've always respected about you, man. Is you've always carried that same persona about you, just like, hey, it don't matter if one eye is on me or 10,000 eyes on me. I'm gonna give everything I got. So, and
Yes,
and
sir.
and thing and I mean I definitely respect you about that, man. And it shows. It shows when it shows all through your coaching career. and it continue to show, man. Even we're doing your this podcast, man. You're
Appreciate
going
that.
out and continue to build something, man. And we just want to thank you as from a fellow coach, because I mean you don't have to do stuff like this, but hey, you continue to do things, man, and I love it.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, it don't matter if only two people listen or 2 million. This is a hobby. This has been so much fun, and man, I
Right.
enjoyed this conversation. I got to learn more about you, man, and man, I really enjoyed this. So, man, thank you for your time. God bless, Katon.
All right, man. God bless.
All right, we'll see you next time.